It looks like we're about to go live, and great. So we will just. You guys, I don't think anyone else will see that. Let me just check it. I don't know if are you checked? Are you online with YouTube at all on the streaming? Is anybody on that side? Because I don't see the streaming.
No,
okay.
I'm not.
All right. It is saying that we are live, and but I'm not seeing it, so I'm a little bit concerned. Let me just check with what Grant says, and
I'm also just clicking on the link quickly on my side to see multitasking.
There we go. We are live. Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. This is an exciting time, and I apologize for us starting just a moment after our scheduled time. This is the first map chat, and with me this evening we have three amazing people who have been part of Map for Life for a fair amount of time, and I'm going to ask each of them to introduce themselves to you, starting with Terence. He's joined Map for Life back in the early 2000s. And Terence, please introduce yourself to the team.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Glen, and hello, everyone. My name is Terence Ogle, as Glen has just mentioned. I joined Map for Life in 2005, was my first introduction to Map for Life. And I've been using Map for Life in my life coaching practice for the past 11 years. I'm really passionate about what I do. I love what I do. I love impacting people's lives and helping them as well to find their purpose in life. I live out in Johannesburg in South Africa, on the East Rand. And that's me. Thank you, Glen.
Great, Terence. Apologies for switching you off there for a moment. Amelia, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Glen. Hi, everybody. My name is Amelia Sequeira, and I started using Map for Life in 2010 when I started my own consulting business, and friends gave me the Map for Business at the time. I really absolutely love this tool. I've been using it for quite some time now. And I found that during the recent happenings, one big positive thing that came from the pandemic, I think, is that people started thinking about life in a more purposeful way. People started questioning things, and we all got time to get out of the rat race for a while. As Liesl said earlier, the rat race parked for a while. And I think it made people think a bit about life and about what their purpose is and what they are doing around here. And I really absolutely love this tool. I love sharing it with people. I often do so. It really is an awesome tool. It's definitely something I can recommend to everybody.
Amelia, it's wonderful to have you joining us, and thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to hearing your inputs in a moment. Liesl, welcome. Lovely to have you joining us.
Hi, Glen. Hello, everyone. My name's Liesl Gericke. I'm also from Joburg, so I think we've got all of us from the northern region of the southern tip of Africa. I was introduced to map now, gosh, more than 20 years ago. My brother is a map scholar through and through, an incredible example of what can manifest and what can happen when you follow the very simple process. And I've always been very inspired by his achievements, and not just achievements and success, but true significance. And so this year decided to complete map mastery because I just love the methodology so much. People know me as somebody who's deeply passionate about adventure. I love to run and hike, and then I invite all my friends to run and hike with me, and then they think they're hiking with me, but I'm actually bringing them into the world of Map for Life, because by the end of the hike, they all have a book and they signed up to my map cafe, and they join every Tuesday morning for a dose of inspiration. So, and that's really what it is. It's paying it forward, because we've all been blessed with this wonderful tool, and we should all pay it forward.
I think that's an incredibly good idea. It's like kind of inviting people to go on a bus trip all the way to Cape Town and spend 15 hours in the bus or in a car, and they can't escape. And you're able to speak to them. So I like that idea. Tonight we talked about this one question, and the question was, why wait? I'm sure as you were going through that session and you were listening and making notes, I can just imagine that there were a lot of thoughts going through your mind, and maybe you had some ideas or inspiration that you'd like to share. And Terence, I'd like you to just start us off and give us some of your insights from this evening's talk.
Yeah, sure, Glen. So yeah, why wait? I think as you said earlier, Glen, there are times when we must wait. It's just unavoidable not to be in a waiting situation. But I think those times should be few. We should be acting more than waiting. And I thought even in those times of waiting, we can still be active. If whatever's created is first thought of, so before it actually materializes, while I would put waiting in inverted commas, while we're waiting, we can make sure that we're thinking positively about what's to come, what's to be birthed. We're meditating on it. We're part of that manifestation process, if you like. So yeah, waiting is so passive, and obviously and often it's related to doing nothing. I believe waiting, we can turn that around and make waiting active. So even while in the waiting period, one of the books that have influenced me greatly is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, where he emphasizes that what really is important, what really we have ability to control and to manage, is as a way with the need to wait, because everything that I do, I'm going to do now and not wait for tomorrow. You mentioned in your speech that tomorrow really doesn't. The only thing of reality is the present, is now. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Thanks, Glen.
Terence, thank you.
Colleagues have to say,
when
as well.
I'm looking forward to each person's insight, and what you're saying is, while we're waiting, do something essentially, and be active. And so often we tend to use all kinds of excuses to justify our waiting, and everyone we speak to identifies with that because they're using the same excuses for waiting as well. So Amelia, what were your insights or your aha moments this evening as we're having a chat about this question, why wait?
Glen, what went through my mind is that we always waiting. For one person, I know that I procrastinate a lot. When I really started slowing down and started thinking about everything, it became very apparent to me. I was in a very busy career and always too busy, and then I one day realized, I read an incredible quote that said, stop stopping and start starting, and it was, I don't know, that just got to me, and it's made me think, while you are in school, you're waiting to finish school. And then when you finish with school, you wait until you finish your qualifications. And when you finish your qualifications, you're waiting for getting married. And then when you get married, you're waiting to have children. And we're just forever waiting. And then suddenly you get to a certain stage in your life and you realize you are still waiting, and there's no reason to be waiting. We must just stop stopping and start starting and take action, you know. And I then started focusing a lot in my personal development stuff, especially on that specific topic. And you know how it goes. Once you open your RAS, reticular activating system in your brain, and everything just comes towards you, and you suddenly, you know, all these messages and things that came to me was actually just this: stop. The time is right. The time is now. Just start and just do it. So yeah, that's
Stopping, start starting. That is a really interesting concept, and I can imagine there's so many people out there that are just listening to those words and realizing that they needed to hear that. Thanks for sharing that. Liesl, you joining us this evening, and I know that you're going to be, you know, you're one of these adventurous people ready to go, and you've got your bags packed. You know, I think you've just unloaded them from the plane and about to put them back in the plane and get back to that routine of traveling the world. And so as you were listening this evening, there was probably something that you identified with that you would like to just share with us this evening.
Absolutely. I mean, I think of why wait. It ties a little bit back with a talk that I did not so long ago when I was still on Terence's Mac Cafe, and it was the theme was there is no such thing as luck, and I firmly believe that there's no such thing as luck. It's where preparation meets opportunity. And when you are prepared, and this is really what the map tool gives you, the opportunity to dream, imagine, and then prepare yourself for whatever comes your way, you will never have to wait, because stuff's going to come your way, and all you're going to have to do is say yes. And I have countless examples of not just within my own life, but I've got anything between 30 and 40 people dialing in every on a Tuesday morning on Map Cafe, of examples where people had a vision, an idea, they wrote it down, and it manifested in a way, and they didn't have to wait. I mean, one of my incredible colleagues had this dream of buying a piece of land in the Northern Cape. It was this kind of mystical, faraway thing that felt inconceivable. And, you know, when he wrote down that plan, it was 3 months later that he found this perfect piece of land, huge space, at an incredible price. I mean, when he told me what he got it for, I was like, you're joking. You can't even buy a townhouse for that amount of money in Joburg. And he's now manifested and living this incredible dream. And so why wait? I think that there's genuine opportunity out there just waiting to be grabbed. I'm just about turning 44. I'm nudging it in November, and I just ran my first marathon on Sunday. Why wait? You know, go out and do it. I've never run before. I'm a newbie to running. I've done it for 18 months, and my spirit of adventure took me in that direction. And so, you know, I think that the world is there to be seized. But I genuinely also believe to be properly manifesting the opportunities, you need to prepare yourself. So don't go run 42 kilometers if you haven't trained, you know. so don't do silly things like that, but don't wait. Prepare yourself for those opportunities.
You know, I was just reminded by that quote that we probably all heard from Les Brown. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. But you know that opening statement, or what inspired this talk, was this fact that we're waiting for opportunity to knock. And you touched on something really important, and that is that we already have everything we need to take the next step. There's nothing that we can say to justify our inaction. And simply the act of writing it down. So if somebody has a piece of paper and a pencil right now this evening, while they're listening to this session, they could write down a dream, an idea that can have a significant impact into the future. Amelia, you've been journeying with Map for Life now for a while, and I know that just during the last few months, you've just kind of started doing things that have taken you to a new level in your business that you're part of. And maybe you can just share something in terms of what caused you to make the decision to start doing something as opposed to maybe continuing within the employee type environment where you've now stepped out and doing something in yourself. Perhaps you have something that you'd like to share with us.
Mm-hmm. Glen, I think what really happened for me was I suddenly just, I always talk about this RAS system in your brain that, some people can maybe call it attraction or whatever, but the minute I started, I think I was so busy in my corporate career that it was always an excuse for me to really face what I really wanted to do with my life. And when I climbed out of and I didn't plan to do so, it just happened because of COVID and everything that happened. And when I climbed out of the career and suddenly stopped, and from being extremely busy every day, suddenly realized that what is it? What is life all about? Why am I here? And I started questioning, and all these things that just came to that said, just, stop waiting and planning and planning and planning. You get some people that go into analysis paralysis. I go into planning mode. I plan forever, but I want things to be so perfect that I never actually get to do it. And then I got the stopping and starting message one day. And then I just started doing things, even though it wasn't perfect yet. I learned along the way. And I just suddenly realized that's all that it's about. It's not about waiting until you have a perfect plan with all the commas and the full stops and the everything. Just start with what you have where you are right now. And that's what I started doing. And the results were just amazing. It is just amazing how everything just happened right there. Everything was there that I needed. I just never saw it.
I think that everybody who's been listening in since we started the session are going to re-look at what they've been doing and are going to start really thinking seriously about taking the next step. Liesl, if somebody's sitting there this evening and they feel that maybe they fall in the category of waiting and perhaps they almost sitting expectant, but yet they're waiting. What is it that you would say to somebody like that?
It's so interesting you asked this question because I have such brilliant friends down in Cape Town. I spent some time with them last week before running the marathon, and they are mapping out their new business, and the meticulousness that they're putting into their plan. And I just love seeing kind of these things manifesting. And what they've done is they've taken a few friends through their thinking. And they're getting lots of different kinds of comments about the direction. What's your USP and what makes you unique versus what else is out there? And they're almost getting a little bit paralyzed by the negativity. And I listened to the presentation. I'm so excited for what they're doing. And I just said to them, you know what? You know exactly what your vision is. You know exactly what you want this business to be. And all you can do is start. Because if you need to turn left at the T-junction instead of going right down this journey, because you know what the utopia is, you know what your step to your destination is, but get started, because it's only through the mistakes and it's only through the the bumps in the road that you will refine the plan, but you will never start. You'll never get there unless you start. So we had such a brilliant time unpacking, the new brand and the brand messaging. And I mean, the proposition's just beautiful. And, they're now really invigorated to get cracking with things. They've just hired their first staff member. They're starting in November. They're now scripting the website. And so it's brilliant to kind of see it all to life. But we can't get paralyzed by all the noise around us. We need to kind of get to the point where we actually now take action. And they're there. So it's pretty cool to kind of see it all manifesting now.
I wish I was on the other side, listening to the input that you guys are giving. Sitting here and being in studio, as a sense, maybe a little bit of a different experience to the person watching the streaming. I think we've started something tonight. This session that we've had together has been the beginning of something really, really significant. And it's been a wonderful pleasure to have you guys join me and put some time aside this evening to share your insights and thoughts. So before we end the session, maybe you've got just a final brief word that you would like to share. So Amelia, over to you.
Okay, I would just basically, in sheer honesty, what I'd like to say to people, now is the time. If not now, then when? If not you, then who? So just stop stopping and start starting. It will all work out.
You are
so to follow Amelia, sorry, you were pausing, so I'll just jump in. But I think that I kind of introed it. For me, life is an adventure, and it's meant to be lived. You can't live your adventures through other people's dreams. And I think that, unfortunately, there's so much of keeping up with the Joneses. We constantly look at what other people have, and we want to have that. But until such time as you've gone into imagination mode and put your own dreams on paper, stop living your adventures through other people's reality and start to live it yourself, whatever that may be. And just I love what Amelia says, start starting. So stop stopping and start starting with your own adventures.
Well, thank you very much, guys. This has been a wonderful evening. And to all of those who've joined in to be part of this first session, please join us again next week, Wednesday, 7:30, same time. And I trust that you'll be looking out for, well, I hope that you've subscribed to our channel so that you'll get the notification of all of the sessions, because we're not only going to do this once a week. I think this is going to become a regular thing. And I know that maybe even you sitting there watching this evening is imagining yourself in the studio and sharing some of your insights. So we look forward to that. It's wonderful having you guys. Thanks again for everything. Good night, everyone. Great, Amelia.